Hello and welcome to Gravitas Plus. I'm Palki Sharma Upadhyay and I have some numbers for you. These are numbers about shopping. In 2021, people shopped for $27.34 trillion. $19.86 trillion was spent in retail stores, $5.76 trillion online. The total, $27.34 trillion. Who shops so much? People like you and me. People in the US alone spent $6.6 trillion on shopping. In India, $883 billion. They say shopping is therapeutic. It can cure a bad mood. It can help you relax. Are these claims true? This is a scientific study. It was published in the Journal of Consumer Psychology in 2014. It says making purchases helps people feel instantly happier. It also fights lingering sadness. In other words, science backs retail therapy. And the science behind retail therapy is a chemical called dopamine. It's a feel-good chemical. It is released every time you go shopping or start shopping. Dopamine can be released by just scrolling through shopping sites. Here's what else is interesting. The notifications you get, the ones that say your order is out for delivery, those too release dopamine. Waiting for the parcel to arrive, the anticipation, the unpredictability of what the end product may look like, all of this creates a dopamine-fueled excitement. And when the parcels begin arriving, it's like Christmas every day. I'm sure you can all relate to the thrill of it, of ripping open the packet and discovering what's inside or trying on new things. That is retail therapy for you. Science says retail therapy is about the whole experience, starting from visiting the store to browsing through the collection, trying out the clothes or whatever it is that you want, and then buying what you like. So why is shopping therapeutic? There are many explanations. Dopamine is one. The second is this: shopping makes you feel in control. And this is based on the theory that sadness is associated with a feeling of helplessness, like you can't control what's happening in your life. Shopping, on the other hand, comes with a sense of personal control and autonomy. And that's what makes it a source of happiness. But the question is, how long does this happiness last? Let's refer to another study. This one was published in 2011. It says shopping leads to, quote unquote, lasting positive impacts on mood. Do people regret going shopping? No, says the study. They do make spontaneous purchases, but the research says they don't regret it. At least not in most cases. What about the remaining? When do people regret shopping? This is where the question of money comes in. You see, our wallets don't like shopping as much as we do. I'm sure a lot of you subscribe to the idea that why earn if you can't spend? Feisty as it may sound, it's not a very practical approach. A lot of us struggle with these questions on saving versus spending, the whole philosophy of YOLO, you only live once, so might as well spend to your heart's content. But I'll tell you what experts say. If you're spending more than you can afford, retail therapy becomes transitory, meaning while it'll give you instant happiness, that happiness does not last. Moral of the story, shopping is great, and like most great things in the world, you must adhere to moderation. So how do you indulge in retail therapy without going broke? Well, you focus on the experience without necessarily buying every time. This is what we call window shopping. Go to the store, see what you like, fill your cart, and put it on hold. Will that make you feel better? Actually, you'll be able to answer that question for me. Have you ever browsed through an online store for hours and left your cart at checkout? If you have, you would know that just the experience of browsing and choosing sometimes makes you feel better. Sometimes you have the benefit of retail therapy before you check out. So even when you're shopping at a mall, try putting your cart on hold. Stop shopping the moment you start feeling better. Another option is saving up, and that too can be therapeutic. Just like waiting for the parcel, here you're counting days to make the purchase. With every deposit, you're closer to your shopping bag. And this anticipation too triggers a release of dopamine. So the basic rule does not change. Just like habit-forming medicines, retail therapy can be addictive. And that is a trap you must avoid. And this addiction is well documented in pop culture. You know, movies like Confessions of a Shopaholic. Have you seen it? Real life is not too different. And I'm talking strictly about the compulsive shopping bit. You see, there's a fine line between retail therapy and compulsive shopping. It does not take too long to cross that fine line. Shopping goes from therapeutic to addiction when it becomes the only way or one's go-to way for dealing with stress or anxiety. Retail therapy is when you have control over your spending. Retail addiction makes you want to keep buying things, even if you know you cannot afford to. Retail addiction is also often followed by buyer's remorse. Therapy is not. Like I said, it's a fine line. Shopping addiction is also called BSD, buying shopping disorder. There's another name for it, CBD, compulsive buying disorder. This really is a thing. Now, side note for all the geeks, compulsive buying disorder is not included in the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders. But psychiatrists have been treating compulsive shopping as a disorder for almost a century now. This is Emil Kraepelin. He was a German psychiatrist. In 1915, he described compulsive shopping disorder as oniomania. The origin of the word is very interesting. Onios is Greek for sale and mani is insanity. Put these words together and what do you get? Over the years, a person's shopping tendency has become closely associated with his or her mental health. This study was published in the Journal of Behavioral Addictions. It says that people who've developed shopping addiction, especially online shopping addiction, may have low self-esteem, low self-control, a negative emotional state, and a desire for anonymity. Estimates say 6 to 8% of shoppers are compulsive buyers. What are the signs of shopping addiction? Always wanting something new, getting easily bored, being pessimistic, being dependent on social recognition, being dependent on social approval, keeping one's purchases a secret, being guilty about purchases. Now, these are not the things you want to be guilty of. You see, shopping can be a great guilty pleasure, but when the pleasure becomes an addiction, the fun goes away. But since breakups and bad days are aplenty, we must find alternatives to shopping therapy. What else can you do to cope with a bad day? Try yoga. It helps you relax. Exercise. It helps you channel negative energy. Watch a sunrise. I don't know if you know this, but UV light is thought to help increase levels of mood-boosting hormones. Here's what else can make you feel good. Good food. A nice smelling candle even. Have you heard of something called aromatherapy? It is based on the idea of using aroma or fragrance to help relax. But coming back to retail shopping, experts believe that while shopping lifts sadness, it is not really effective in situations where a person is angry. Now, should you indulge in retail therapy? Depends on whether you can afford to and whether you need to. There is nothing wrong in indulging in retail therapy occasionally, but don't let your purchases define your self-worth. You're not what you wear, you're not what you carry.